Welcome to What a Creep, the show with Margot Donohue and Sonia Mansfield, talking about creeps from the past to the present.
This is your quick guide to the biggest creeps, jerks, assholes, and losers, the best of the worst.
From two nice ladies who want the world to be a little less creepy.
Welcome back to What a Creep. This is Margot Donohue, and my cohort in creepitude, as always, is the amazing Sonia Mansfield. Hey, Sonia.
Hi, my friend.
Hi, my friend. It's a 4-day weekend type situation here in the States, so we're feeling a little loopy. But we are the podcast that talks about creeps from the past to the present. We have a present-day creep, a Canadian creep. Not very often we have some from Canadian land on our list, but we do have that today. If this is your first time listening, I just want to let you know we always end the show with somebody or something that is not a creep, so you feel a little bit more elevated at the end of the show. It's funny I said elevated because this guy talks about erections really in a second. I don't remember.
Oh, boy.
Don't let me forget to mention that.
Never forget.
We're always looking for suggestions for creeps and for non-creeps. So let's start with all the social media. We have a basic Facebook page. That's where people go to complain about our language. We use salty language in this program. This is your one warning.
Shit, fuck, damn.
We are the most interactive in our private Facebook group. It is private. You have to ask to join. You have to promise not to be an asshole. But it is where we do hang out and we talk about pop culture and things going on in the news. It's a very positive place. So that's a good place to hang out. I think so, too. We're on Threads, Instagram, and Blue Sky at What a Creep Podcast. And we have an old-timey email, whatacreeppodcast@gmail.com. And if you would like some stickers, and Sonia, I've made a thing. I'm going to go tomorrow to the post office and drop off.
It's happening!
It's happening! So I will drop off some, maybe I'll do it Sunday, give people some time to send me their address. But if you'd like that, send that, or just send us your, like I said, your suggestions for creeps and for non-creeps. Sonia, you want to tell them about the website?
Yeah, go to whatacreeppodcast.com and it's everything you want to know about the show, but we're afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to ask. But if you are, you can go there. You can go there and see all of our past episodes because we've been around for 29 seasons. That doesn't mean 29 years.
It feels like
seasons.
It sometimes, but in a good way.
Yeah, so you can open up any of those seasons, any of those episodes, and you'll see our show notes because we source everything we do. We're not making this stuff up. We want to give people credit for the work they do. If you're looking for a deeper dive on any of our creeps, fabulous place to start. You can also go to our merch shop where you can get t-shirts and tote bags and face masks and put our logo on a pillow or whatever you want. Do it. You can do it. And there's also a link to our Patreon. You want to tell them about that, Margot?
Yes, Patreon. We are on season 29, as Sonia just said. Our first 9 seasons are on our Patreon wall. For those that pay for Patreon, you have access to that, but you also have access to 2 bonus episodes a month. And in those episodes, Sonia and I just kind of shoot the shit. We talk about things that are happening in the news. We do an audio version and we do a video version so you can see our pusses. You can see that all for yourselves. You can also sign up for it for free because I do post things there occasionally that are connected to the show. This week, I have a couple of links for news outlets that I wanted to post there for people to see. So you can sign up for free if you want.
Thanks.
Or not. Whatever.
Yeah.
You do you, boo. Do we have anything else, Sonia, or is this a good time to start?
That's it.
All right.
Let's do it.
Well, I wanted to talk to you about, you're a yoga person.
Yeah.
You just got back into it. I mean, you're on and off into that. You live in San Francisco. It's the law.
Yeah.
I live in Brooklyn.
It's the law.
It's the law for both places. We're women at a certain age. We've had to at least taken, we had to buy the 10-pack card for classes for yoga someplace.
Yes. My thing used to be checking out the free or low cost yoga all over the city. So I would sign up for like what they would call the new student pass. So it was like unlimited classes for $10, and 30 days or something. And I would do it all over the city. Like I hit every studio in San Francisco because I was and I wanted to do yoga. So that's what I used to do. Now I have a studio and I'm very comfortable and I like to go there.
Yeah. I do. You find your place.
Yeah, I found my place.
My favorite actually was a Y. It was at the Y on Saturdays, like
Yeah.
11:30. Sometimes you luck out like that. But I had a teacher, it was about 20 years ago, and her name was Cece. And it was like, I took the class before that just to ensure that I would and it was like a really hardcore, like weights and cardio class. So I'd be exhausted, but I didn't give a shit because I just wanted to know I had a space for Cece.
Yeah.
And it was a part of my life. So also, are you a person that wears Lululemon?
I am not.
And is there a reason why?
Uh,
Price?
well, it used to be price.
Yeah.
Like it was a price thing. I bought my stuff from Target back in the day. Um I think the last time I bought stuff, I bought it from Old Navy. Like, Old Navy has really good yoga pants. But
Old Navy is good
uh,
everything, man. You can't, doesn't last that long. That's all. But when you know,
yeah.
if you only need it for a season or a year, it's great.
Yeah, well, and the truth is if you're going to yoga and sweating and stretching and all of that, they're probably not going to last that long anyway. But no, but I think the price point is what kept me away.
Yeah. Yeah. I went to my first Lululemon about 20 years ago. It was my first time in Toronto, and I was in the fancy schmancy shopping section, and I walked in and I was like, what is this place? I mean, they really displayed it beautifully, and the product is wonderful. And I became a fitness instructor, and they had ambassadors, and it was a big deal if Lululemon made you an ambassador of theirs.
Yes.
Because they did not pick everybody. And you got like maybe 10% off, which isn't a lot. But they had classes, yoga classes you could take there. And it's beautiful stuff. And it is.
Yeah, I'm looking at pictures of the stores right now, and I'm like, yeah.
It's yeah. I mean, you go up, it's special. I mean, it's got its own thing. It's really. So what's interesting is we're talking about Chip Wilson. He was the CEO for Lululemon. He is the founder of it. And I kind of have a dual life with him. He's older than me, but I told you the story many times, but y'all may not hear it. We're here to talk about everything. So 30 years ago, when I was in college, oh my God, I worked at a store at the mall. It was in California because that's the law. I was a teenager, Anyway.
Yeah, you work retail.
You work retail in the summers and stuff like that. And it was a store that sold workout wear. And really, it was like dance wear that we sold as workout wear. That was the stuff we bought. And the dance stuff that you bought, the tights and things like that, are very sheer. Their dancers just go through their shit like really quickly. They cut it up. I mean, that's like the whole thing. And it used to make me crazy because I love to wear the leggings, the capri length and stuff like that. But
yeah,
I a couple of times I've gone to work and somebody was like, I could totally see your ass right now. Like once you're out in the sunshine.
So, that is 100% happened to me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It happened to everybody. I mean, they were all that thin. And so what a lot of dancers would do is they would buy tights, which is like thicker than pantyhose, and then cut them to the length that you need. And you wore that underneath. But then it felt like, I'm going to be a little crude here, but it was basically suffocating your pussy. I mean, it was like,
I need to let it breathe.
Breathe,
pussy, breathe.
But that's what we had to put up with. I mean, so I understand like this. So the person we're talking about today was an athlete, and he created a product, and it was a game changer. It definitely, everyone talked about Lululemon. It was considered really posh. It was like the good stuff you could get. It would last for years. That was the whole thing. Like, sure, it was, $70, $100, but supposedly 5 years later, you could wear them.
Right.
Which is, pretty good cost of investment if you
that
go to
is
classes
it is
a few times
absolutely
a week, So let's talk about Chip. He's no longer with Lululemon. He has his own thing going on, and he's a very controversial figure in Vancouver, which is another thing I want to ask you. Have you ever been to Vancouver?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Oh my God, isn't it?
It's beautiful. People have described it as a clean San Francisco.
Oh,
and I was like, that's fair comparison.
Oh, you could eat off the sidewalks. And
it's beautiful. I loved it. I had a great time there.
Yeah, my brother got married there. He was married to my younger brother was married to a Canadian. That's a whole other fucked up story, but we'll get to that one day. But in a beautiful place like that. Oh, there you are. Good. I can see you now.
Okay.
All right. So we'll do the intro and then we'll talk about Chip Wilson and why he's our creep this week. And he's somebody that I will say, I think that there is potential for him to be a decent person.
Hey, we like that.
So I do want to say, like, he does do some good things, but let me start with this.
Yeah.
Actually, let me just pull something up. I will take this out of the episode or I'll just vamp a little bit. I forgot to pull up his Wikipedia page and God forbid, I don't do that.
We don't want that. We give Wikipedia all the credit.
Yeah.
They've got
I got a lot of sources here. And I told Sonia off the air, I read his book today. Okay. So
that's dedication.
This guy. So Chip, don't you give me a hard time because I know your shit right now. I did my due diligence. Sonia.
Yes.
Chip Wilson, the founder, former CEO of Lululemon Athletica, has been involved in several controversies over the years, primarily due to his public statements and views on body image, diversity, and labor practices. He's a real treat. His issues range from body image and product quality to his opposition to diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI initiatives.
Boo!
He also reads Ayn Rand, which is like always a red flag for me. Additionally, he has faced criticism for purchasing large areas of the Vancouver region and raising the rents and kicking people out.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
It's like 60% of Vancouver. He's one of the richest people in Canada, and he basically owns Vancouver. The company's name also has origins that some consider to be racist. Actually, it is racist. I was being a little easy there. While his actions and statements have some troubling aspects, it's essential to acknowledge that he is Canadian, which implies he has a certain level of decency. I say this as a jealous American, believe me. Why couldn't my parents be from Calgary? He also has been a benefactor for his homeland, so he is 100% a total creep. There might be some opportunity for growth for him. Might be.
We love a road to redemption.
We do indeed. Okay. So today I read Lululemon and the Future of Technical Apparel by Chip Wilson. It's from 2024. I got it from the Libby app for freezies.
Nice.
ABC News, CBC, BNN, Business Insider, Financial Post, Global News, People, Scripps, Today's Show, The Independent, The Street, The Chronicle, Vancouver Sun, a site called Vancouver is Awesome.
I love that.
And Wikipedia. Let me just give you Chip's background. He was actually born in the U.S. We talked about Bruce Springsteen the other day on our bonus. I forgot to mention our bonus eps. We put them out twice a month, but we're putting out 3 this month because I only did 1 last month. But anyway, Chip Wilson, Dennis Chip Wilson, was born April 25th, 1955. He is an American-Canadian businessman, investor, and philanthropist who has founded several retail companies. His father was from Calgary. And his mother, I think she's from San Diego. He was born in the Los Angeles, San Diego region. His dad used to be a football player, and his mother was an athlete as well. And they met at Brigham Young University. She was a gymnast. They met at Brigham Young University. They went to Brigham Young University, but they were not Mormon. It's just where they were able to get into school.
That's interesting.
Right?
Honestly, for some reason I had it in my head you had to be Mormon to go there, but I guess
so
that
too.
wouldn't be true. I'm like, okay.
I mean, I guess they'll just take your money no matter what, but I mean.
Yeah.
And his dad he was a football player, and he was studying to be a football coach and instructor. When he was in his downtime, he would work for UPS for money when they needed it. She was a housewife. It's the 50s and 60s. And she was really great at sewing. And she taught her sons how to sew, all of them, how to make patterns. And Chip especially, really got into it. Like, he really understood. And he took to it. When he was 5, the family moved from San Diego to Calgary, Alberta, which was a bit of a culture shock, yes, for the mother. The parents didn't survive that move very well. His parents split up when he was 12, and they both wound up marrying other people, but he's still close to both of his parents. He went to the University of Alberta and played football there. And then before he graduated, he actually spent some time in Fairbanks, Alaska, working at an oil rig. And this was in the 1970s, like 75, 76.
Okay.
And you could make like $100,000 a year as a laborer working at one of those oil rigs, which would be like $500,000 now. Like you could make stupid money.
Nice.
And he was young and he didn't want to, it was just an adventure for him too. He just wanted to, and so he did it for a while. Yeah. And then he goes back to the University of Calgary and he graduates in 1980. He's really, 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 really into sports. Surfing,
really?
Skiing, snowboard, like anything athletic. This guy is obsessed with anything athletic. And this is important because it's a part of his identity, is how fit he is.
Okay.
How strong he is, how quick he is, like the $6 million man. It's very much a part of his personality. He also is somebody that has a really great, strong idea about clothing and how activewear can be technical and can make you work better in the outdoors. So Gore-Tex and things like that. Like people used to wear. We were watching The Four Seasons, the movie, the other day, a couple of weeks ago, and Alan Alda's like in a regular sweater and jeans skiing, and like you would freeze to death. I mean, it's like
you would freeze and you fall, and then your pants get wet,
yes,
and then you're really freezing. And it used to be a thing, or you wore like sweats, I guess.
Yeah, or you layer. But that could get really heavy too. Like, you want to wear several light layers. So he is a part of that very smart idea of making technical athletic clothing, but also make sure that it's fashionable. Like you want to be seen in it. And he made me laugh a few times in his book. Like one time he talked about men's shorts. And he's a big traveler too. He would travel as much as he'd like to Mexico and other places. And he would say, like in Mexico, like the men had very colorful shorts that like wrapped around, and he said at the time, and you can look at movies from this time, men wore shorts that were so freaking tight and short, like that just like he said, if somebody had a dime in their pocket, you could see the year the dime was. And that's true.
It's true.
So he he saw these shorts that were a little looser and longer, but that, you could wear something else underneath it, like a whatever, but you could be fashionable. Like you could still, so he would make these and sell them. And he would on and off do that. He created a company called West Beach Snowboard Ltd. And they sold stuff for surfing and skating and snowboarding. Mm-hmm. And he was really into, like I said, the products and making sure that there were the latest colors and fabrics and things. Like he's like obsessed with that. And he realized that snowboarding is only so much of an audience. There's only so many people who have access to that. There's so many people that are good at it. It takes a lot of skill, Yeah. So he was thinking, he has this company for, over a decade, but he realizes like that he's just getting by. They have a store, do have a retail location, and they do sell, I think they have a catalog, but they sell to people over the phone. But there's no internet, so you don't have like an online business. So here he is in this retail outlet. You have to it's seasonal, and a lot of, and you're talking about young men mostly that are into all these things, and they don't normally have a lot of money.
Yeah, well, and things like skiing, snowboarding, those things cost money. It's not like you could just be like, you have to pay money to go skiing or snowboarding.
And
it's not like you
expensive. Getting those passes.
Yeah, getting especially now, but like getting the passes, getting the equipment, whether you're renting, whether you own it, like that shit costs money. And it's like clothes becomes like the last thing.
Right.
You're like, whatever, I'll just wear whatever, or yeah.
So he settles in Vancouver. That's his like love. He falls in love with the location, and he sells that company and to Advent International 48%. And he decides that he becomes friends with a lot, and this is going to get to me here, but he becomes friends with a lot of women. He's married for a time and then he's divorced. He's married, has 2 sons, and then he's divorced. Like he's like 30 something and he's divorced.
Okay.
And he's ready to start a new business. And he was struggling, like he had, like they paid him like a couple million for his business, but after taxes and everything else, there was only so much time that he had to come up with a new thing.
Right.
And divorce, you have to pay alimony and shit like that. So he did build himself up. I will give him that. He became friends with a lot of women that were into yoga. And a lot of them were saying, he was going to yoga classes because there were cute girls, and he would call them super girls that he would pay attention to. But they would also say, you're going to get injured if you don't stretch. You're going to get injured if you don't take care. Yoga is really not for wimps. It is actually really hard to do.
Oh my God. It's funny you say that. So when I was doing yoga, like this, when I first got into it, so it would have been like 2008 or 9 or whatever. Like I was like, what? I'll just like go to a class and they'll turn the lights down and we'll stretch and then I'll probably fall asleep or something. And that is not what happens. Like some of these classes are hardcore.
Oh, absolutely. And you think like downward dog, like how hard that, and then like somebody corrects your posture and you're like, holy shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So after a year of doing that, like I was finally like, I can almost keep up or something, but I was the strongest I had ever been.
Yeah.
Like after doing yoga for like a year, because it was hard. And there's those different kinds of classes too that are, like we did an episode on Bikram
Yes,
yoga.
we did. I worked
that
with
is
his
like
wife.
is sweaty, hard class, or classes where you fucking arm stands, head stands, like back bends, like all that. You're not just stretching in the dark and then like getting out 5 bolsters and falling asleep.
You're not falling asleep. I mean, sometimes people fall asleep, but that's only because at the very end you're in the corpse pose and everyone, you had a rough week.
100%.
We all have.
You met my friend Corso. We took one of those classes that was supposed to be like a gentle yoga. It was too gentle and she fell asleep. It's like laying on a bolster and she's like...
Well, so he was going to these classes and he was in his dude shorts, his board shorts and stuff like that. And the women were, and he was noticing, they're wearing tights and stuff. And he was saying like, what are your concerns? What do you think? Because he's always was working with men before that or doing outdoor gear. This is indoor workout clothes. And they'd say these tights are so thin, they pill up. Everybody can see you have to wear something underneath and they fall apart or you get the holes in the crotch or you get, there's all kinds of, they just don't last. So, and you have to be able to change really quickly. And so sometimes that pulls the fabric. And so they're like, I would love a fabric that was a lot tougher, but still breathable.
Mm-hmm.
And that had nice colors because it's, nice, pretty, cute colors. That kind of thing.
Yeah. And have you ever tried to do a downward dog in a t-shirt? It fucking sucks.
Oh, yeah. No.
It floats out. People can see up your shirt. Like the collar rides up over your nose and mouth. Like you want proper stuff that fits right. And you want it to be cute.
You want it to be cute, but you also want it to be breathable. You want it so it doesn't stink. I mean, there's all kinds of things that you want. And so he decided to come up with, and it was 1998, Lululemon. And how did he come up with the name Lululemon, Sonia?
I don't know.
This is the interview he gave to National Business Post magazine in 2004. The reason the Japanese liked my former skateboard brand, Homeless, he actually had a brand called Homeless, was because it had an L in it and a Japanese marketing firm wouldn't come up with a brand name with an L in it. L is not in their vocabulary. It's tough pronunciation for them. So I thought next time I have a company, I'll make a name with 3 L's so that I can get 3 times the money. It's kind of exotic for them. I was playing with the L's when I came up with Lululemon. It's funny to watch them try to say it. So it was kind of a goof on Asian people.
Ha ha.
Right.
That's hilarious.
Right.
He's a big L for that.
Yeah. He does. He gets married, by the way. Her name is Susan. Hold on. Personal life. Yeah, Shannon Wilson, excuse me. They meet in around that time. She's helping to come up with the fabrics, and she went to fashion school. She went to design school, and so
Oh, okay.
they meet. You know, she's also super into yoga. Like I said, he calls these super girls. There's all these blondes, like the very fit blondes, and that he meets, and they're all giving him the all the stuff he needs, the market research he needs to do this thing.
Yeah.
And he would say, "What kind of a place would you like to be?" And they would say, "Well, it'd be great if, like, I could start a yoga class at the place, right? Like if it was in the morning or after work, and then I can meet other people and see if it works for me." Because you go to a yoga studio and it can be very intimidating. You walk in there and everybody seems to know what they're doing, right? Like
Yes.
everyone's in their own head. Like this would be a little bit more welcoming. And he was
Yeah.
like, okay. And he did pay them very well. He paid these women really well.
Okay.
So they start having these stores, and he starts in his Vancouver, and it just takes off. And they never have to do advertising. They don't, and within a few years, he opens up in Toronto. And that's really what sets them. Like I said, they're at that bougie West Street location. And also what just seems to happen in the late 2000s, 2008, 9, 10, yoga becomes everywhere.
It was everywhere.
Everywhere. Everybody was doing some kind of yoga. Celebrities had their yoga DVDs. Everybody had their guru. Madonna played a character who was, I swear to God, she only did the movie so she could show that she did yoga. There's Gwyneth Paltrow claims that she created yoga. Yeah. But it just was one of those things, it took off. And there's yoga bodies. And then you saw things like yoga for kids. And you see these, and I would see these kids, like they had muscles and everything. So he managed to hit this at the zeitgeist.
Yeah.
So he's successful. He's doing really well. So why not fuck it up a little bit?
Yeah, why not? Sure.
So in 2013, he sells the business to an investment firm, and he has like the majority stake. And by this point, there's Lululemons all over the world. So he and his wife are in Australia for a few months. And go ahead.
I was just saying, it was a name brand. Like,
oh yeah,
in the 80s, ask your, or 70s and 80s kids, ask your
favorite Gen X
grandparents
person
about, like, we had like designer jeans. It was like your Jordashes, your Vanderbilt, that sort of thing. And it was a thing that you had to have to be cool. And these were definitely that sort of thing. Like, people wanted you to, if people bought it, they wanted you to know that that's what they were wearing. Like, they would have the symbol very proudly, displayed, or like it meant something to have that, because it was like a little bit more expensive. It wasn't just, I got these at Target.
No, and as I said, instructors, like, it was a big thing for instructors to be able to say, like, I'm an ambassador for Lululemon, like I'm that special. And the stuff was great. I have to say, I did wear it for years. I mean, it was, and they had pockets and everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was dope. He also, 2009 is also when people started having blogs. We know that.
I had one.
Yeah,
I still have one.
You still keep it going. He decided like it'd be really awesome for him as the CEO to just talk about his political views and post it on the blog, because he's super successful at this point. He's married to Shannon. They have 3 boys. He has these 5 sons, all blonde and blue-eyed. Like, he's living that dream.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things he likes to write about is women's health. And by women's health, he means every fucking part of their lives that he knows nothing about. Women's
love it when men talk about our health. It's the best.
Women's lives changed immediately. Men's lives didn't change. How Lululemon came into being. Women's lives changed immediately. Men's lives didn't change. However, and they continued to search for stay-at-home wife like their mothers. Men did not know how to relate to the new female. Thus came the era of divorces. He also shared his views about birth control, writing, females no longer have to... Females, by the way, don't...
Oh my God. No. A red flag. If a man is like females, it's like, no.
Females no longer have to make relationships work because with birth control came a sense of financial and life control. Yeah, that's actually a good thing for everybody. That benefits men as well.
What? We had autonomy? What?
A sense of equality was established because women no longer had to relinquish their independence for a male provider.
Yeah.
Also, this was my favorite. You'll love this. Breast cancer also came into the prominence in the 1990s. I suggest this was due to the number of cigarette-smoking power women, capital P, capital W, who were on the pill. Initial concentrations of hormones in the pill were very high, and taking on the stress previously left to men in the working world. So it's the ladies' fault that they were getting this breast cancer.
You heard it first, everybody. You heard it here first. The man who makes yoga pants would like you to know that it was probably your smoking and your bodily autonomy that gave you breast cancer. I know that's how I got it.
Yeah.
Like, it was definitely from all the smoking I was not doing.
You are a power woman, Sonia.
It's probably from all the shoulder pads we were wearing in the 80s that gave us breast cancer.
It's really offensive. So anyway, let's fast forward to 2013. He and Shannon are in Australia. They have somebody doing the business side of the business. They can really concentrate on the stuff that they used to when they started. That's why people get those investors. They could take care of that shit. And they're having an issue, and that's that they have a whole batch of Lululemon pants that are pilling, and people are returning them and saying it's happening so quickly. And these pants, once again, these are tights, but I mean, they're pants too. They are over $100 a piece. Like, this is an investment. Like, if it's pilling, and I've only worn it for a couple of weeks, we got a problem. It's too thin. So before, and they've had this happen. First of all, he was saying, this is why I even started the company, was to get rid of the cheap tights. I really wanted to create the alternative. And they've had in their first couple of years, a couple of times where they had bad batches of fabric. And they just had to and they did recalls, and it cost a lot of money. But they didn't want to put their name on a product that didn't work. They wanted people to know, you buy these pants, you're going to be wearing them 2, 3, 4 years from now.
Yeah. Well, and think about it. If a woman is in a yoga class, and again, they have their little, their icon or whatever, for, what am I thinking of? It's an icon.
The logo.
You know what I mean? The logo. Thank you, Jesus. The logo is on the back of the pants. So if they're in downward dog and their ass is literally showing, it's showing right over or right under their logo. I'm behind them going, well, I won't be buying those.
I'm not going to be buying that batch. Where did you get those? I'll be sure to avoid. Thank you.
Yes.
I also want to mention, but the people that work for him, you're not required, you have to spend the money, but he makes it very clear that he's all about the Landmark program. Do you know about the Landmark program, Sonia?
No, please tell me.
The Landmark program, and they are very, very litigious, so I'm going to keep my views, and I'm just going to stick to the facts, ma'am. It is a program that's been around since 1991, and it's self-improvement. There's a lot of self-improvement programs in the 90s and into the 2000s. Yeah. And you pay money, and you go for a 3-day weekend, and it was called EST in the 70s. Scientology has this as well. They put you in a room. You're not allowed to go to the bathroom. They're going to lecture you for 3 days straight. And by the end of it, you're going to get rid of all the things. All of your bullshit's going to go away. And you're going to have a 2-year plan, a 5-year plan, and a 10-year plan.
Sounds very Nexium.
Yeah, it's all the same thing.
Okay.
All those self-help things are the same. It's also very expensive. And it also requires, like, you have to buy the books, you have to go to the other conferences, you have to keep coming back. And hey, do you have any friends that could use some help? Why don't you bring a couple of friends with you and then maybe we'll give you a discount on that?
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
He says the Landmark program, hey Sadie, helps you understand the connection between integrity and performance. The definition of integrity is doing what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it. It's recognizing that what you say and how you say it determines effectiveness in life and determines the type of people you end up surrounding yourself with. I'm saying these things to you because and this is another thing I want to write to you. He also wrote this on the blog around this time. Mediocrity is doing an okay job. Having a relationship that works, being just a little overweight, or having a job that pays the bills in quotes, most people live in a state of mediocrity. Mediocrity is as close to the bottom as it is to the top. It's this very judgmental idea that you don't have big enough goals, you don't have big enough dreams. If you just got off your lazy ass, your life would be perfect. And athletes and jocks, and I kind of am one of them. There is that thinking there. Well, if you just got up every day and you just, you did it, you would be right. And it doesn't take into account, which I learned, that anything can happen to you at any time in your life that will humble you.
Yes.
And you won't be able to do the things you want to do. You won't be able, you're going to be interrupted.
Yeah.
He's very judgmental about that. He's very this is why I'm successful. Look at me.
You have to, why don't you do it like I did it?
Because then you could be like me. And it's like, because there can be like 50 of you. Like, I mean, come on.
Or maybe I don't want to be like you.
No. Anyway, let's go back to the 2013. He goes on Bloomberg television and they say, hey, so what's going on with these pants? They're talking about there's a lot of pilling and people, and it gets a lot of press. And he says, frankly, some women's bodies just actually don't work for wearing Lululemon pants. It's really about the rubbing through the thighs, how much pressure is there over a period of time, how much they use it. Basically, you're a big fat fatty, and that's why you can't wear pants.
Yeah. Hey, fatty fat, these aren't for you.
And they do make a point of I think they only go up to size 12 they at the time.
All right.
And there was a whole, and he also had a thing, and maybe he has a point, I don't know. But he said, the kind of fabric that they used, if they had to make them bigger, then they would have to charge more. But nobody wants to charge more for plus size because nobody wants to make a customer
that would
feel.
be fucked up.
Yeah. So they just don't bother doing it. That's his whole thing.
Yeah. Hey, if you want to make, it is your clothing line, sir. If you only want to go up to size 12, that is your business.
Right.
But there's a repercussion to that. People will call it out. Hey, you don't do sizes that are bigger. And you need to be careful about how you message things when you talk about body positivity. It's you mean body positivity and health, but only if you're
thin,
a size 12 and below.
Right. I mean, and that's, I've seen women that are very, very big run marathons, run triathlons, do yoga poses that I can't go anywhere near. I know women that are skinny that can't run half a block without being out of breath.
Weight isn't equal health. We don't know what's going on with people on the inside. Like you said, a big, someone who's bigger can run a marathon. I've been in yoga class where a woman was 8 months pregnant. I didn't even know she was pregnant because from behind, I couldn't tell. She's fully standing in tree pose and perfect balance and all this stuff. And then she turned to the side and she's super pregnant. And I was I would have never known. so strong, but you don't know.
You
You
don't
can't
know.
tell by looking at people.
Right. And this is around the time, like with the body positivity, and you get like Dove campaign and other places where they have the nerve to have bigger size women go, yeah, I use body wash. That'd be nice. Like, thank you for including what? And Richard Roper actually made a big complaint about that. Like, he hated seeing a billboard with a fat woman with Dove, like that offended his sensibilities. Like,
well, then don't buy it, asshole.
Don't buy it and then you know what? Just gouge your fucking eyes out if you can't take it. That's far.
Yeah. Hey, guess what, Richard Roper? 2 thumbs down.
Yeah.
You could stick them up your butt.
A smug loser.
Yep.
Anyway, it's not the answer that really people wanted to hear. It should have been like, yo, you're right. We had a bad batch. That's all you had to say. Yeah. It was a bad batch of fabric. We pride ourselves on this. We started this company because we didn't want this to happen. We're committed to fixing this and making this right. He just was so fucking fed up with having to think about body positivity and people over a size 12 that he just was like, well, then you just can't wear them.
Damn.
Yeah, it's stupid on many levels.
It is stupid because there's like a whole audience there, a whole demographic of people that now will never shop with you.
And they sell everything there at the store. They sell yoga mats, they sell yoga bags, they sell underwear, they sell socks, they sell bras. Like, there's all kinds of things that people can buy in there. Just make some extra sizes.
Yeah. Well, also imagine like a lot of people who go to yoga are working on their health.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, and then you want to shit on people.
Right.
Because they're not, it's like they're there working on their health. They're doing it for their physical health, for their mental health, whatever. And you're shitting on them for it. Gyms do this all the time where people are like, do you see the video going around of the woman who's like, there shouldn't be fat people in Pilates.
Oh, over 200 pounds.
Yeah, if you're 200 pounds, you shouldn't be in Pilates. Bitch, mind your business.
Yeah.
It is not your business if someone who is 200 pounds is in Pilates. Like, they're there working on their fitness just like you.
Don't be a narcissistic twat.
Yeah, what a twat. She's such a twat.
Yeah.
That's a perfect word to describe her. Ugh.
He also he loses the gig, basically. They get a new CEO. I'll shorten this up. They kick him out. He still is a major stockholder, and he has been this whole time. But they're just, I think, he probably at this point in his life, like, I can't be the CEO for this anymore because it's not, he doesn't believe that. He doesn't believe that's the thing. He thinks he just wants to, I'm sure he thinks 12 is big. I think like that's as like much of a woman as he wants to see.
Yeah.
In his book titled Little Black Stretchy Pants, he also wrote about that he's not necessarily opposed to child labor. Working young is excellent training for life. In North America, I noticed there were some kids not made for school who dropped out with nowhere to go. In Asia, if a kid was not school material, he or she learned a trade and contributed to the family. It was work or starve. I liked the working alternative. He also brags about how he had his kids start working when they were 5 years old. It's that Ayn Rand, like, some people are special and some people are just going to be worker bees. Why waste an education on them? And not everybody is for college. I do acknowledge that. Of course, not everybody is.
Yeah. But I'm curious what he means by having his kids work at 5 years old. Does he lots of people do chores. Lots of kids do chores. Like, that's super normal. That's whatever. But the idea of like, well, hey man, if you don't like to read, you should just drop out of school and get a job in a factory. Like, come on. Like, that's not what we do here. Education is important. Everybody learns differently too. Like, you would think child labor would be something that
everyone could agree on. And then he included these pictures in the book, and it's a bunch of people at the office, and they have like baby bottles and diapers, and they're all hanging around it's making fun of babies working, and it's just, you're not funny. Shut the fuck up.
It's not funny.
Now, let's go to 2024. Lululemon's had a few CEOs over the years. It's done very well. It still does very well. It's still a very powerful brand. And they've decided that they're going to work on diversity and inclusion because maybe we just don't have to like focus on size 6 blondes, for the rest of our lives. Sometimes, people get older, everybody should be included in yoga. Everybody should be able to come to the party.
I mean, have they thought about a size 8 brunette?
Ugh.
They need yoga pants
I would make them barf. So he does an interview with Forbes. And he hasn't been, with Lululemon in a while. He has his own little company now, whatever. And they're saying, so how do you think Lululemon's, he still has a majority stake though. He makes a lot. He's worth like $7 billion. He's fine.
He's fine.
So they ask him, what do you think about the new diversity and inclusion policy? And included that is like designers that are of, Black, that are, or women or whatever, somebody who's handicapped. Maybe it's somebody who's, So they're doing ad campaigns and they have bigger bodies. And once again, come to the store, buy our shit. You're gonna look good, you're gonna feel good, and you're gonna do good for yourself.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with this? I don't know.
Right.
He says they're trying to become like the Gap, everything to everybody. He also criticized an advertisement made with the company featuring plus-size women models. He said they looked unhealthy, sickly, and not inspirational.
Trash.
Lululemon was quick to say, Chip Wilson does not speak for Lululemon and his comments do not reflect our company views or beliefs. Later in October, they had an election in Canada. They knew what they were doing there. We didn't know what we're doing here. But you'll be surprised to find out that he's kind of on the far right side, Sonia, and kind of conservative.
What?
He kind of thinks like,
what a surprise.
Jordan Peterson's a great guy. And like I said,
No.
once again, Ayn Rand. So he put up a sign in his BC home, and I think he has the richest, the most expensive home in Vancouver. And everybody knows where it is. And he's, like I said, he's bought so many buildings around the area. And it's kicked out people who are artists, who are small business owners.
So shitty.
Yeah. I mean, okay. We're going to stop shitting on him in a minute. Okay. Just let me let me get in one more shit storm here and then we'll get to the nicer stuff. He had a sign basically for Premier David Eby. I think it's Eby. Eby will tell you the conservatives are far right, but neglects saying that the NDP is communist. It is unclear who put up the sign, but David Eby responded by saying, when you are so rich that the Red Hot Chili Peppers play your birthday party, it's possible to lose perspective. I would just say to Mr. Wilson, people are struggling out there and we need to provide support for them. Yeah. Yeah. So then
So gross. You got the Red Hot Chili Peppers?
Yeah, they're fucking creeps. Yeah. And he paid them millions because he's an idiot. Okay.
Ew.
Anyway, he has, that's the shitty stuff. So let's go to the nicer things. Where are the nicer things? I had them here.
Wait, there are none.
No. He's done some. He and his wife Shannon have done a lot of philanthropy.
That's good.
There's the Wilson School of Design, and I can't pronounce this, Kwantlen Polytechnic University. They spent $36 million. That's to help people develop skills in the fashion industry.
That's cool.
Which is great.
Yes.
They are sponsors of the annual Child Run. Like the Child Run, like do they make them like put them at sewing machines, make them run? But it's the largest family run in Vancouver. They have donated. It has 6,000 participants and it raises over $1 million a year.
That's awesome.
Which is awesome. They have contributed $100 million to the BC Parks Foundation for the preservation and protection of British Columbia's ecosystem in perpetuity.
We like that.
Yes. Now, something about him that he wasn't talking about. Oh, sorry. Let me get to the weird essay and then we'll get to. I'm sorry. I have to get to this weird essay.
Yes.
This is from Vancouver is Awesome. He's worried about erection, Sonia.
Lots of guys are.
Yeah. He wrote this in 2019. We live in an era which 100 years from now will be known as the time when demasculization of men occurred. Underlying feminization of men, which is something Bill Maher in his Hack Act was talking about like 20 years ago, will affect the deep psychological reasons men have erections. My concern is the continuation of the human race. I think men have to feel like a man to have an erection. Most times, this feeling, in quotes, is in response to the relationship with a female. Stop doing that.
Oh, also, so gay men don't get erections?
No, they don't, Sonia. I know they do because
this is news to me. Okay.
who the man interprets in a million different combinations to be feminine. That's another thing. Whether a man gets an erection or not largely depends on his interpretation of his partner's femininity. This is why there are so many female prostitutes and so few heterosexual male prostitutes. Dale Garvin, male prostitute. Dan Aykroyd. Men can't fake an erection to make sex happen, Sonia. Men are now interpreting that women of the media and the media today want them to be more feminine. I tried this in the 1980s and I decided to become inauthentic, more feminine version of myself. This is, by the way, when he was becoming successful, getting all these ideas from women, by the way. The billions you have, sir.
Yes.
Did in fact want a feminized man in bed. Unfortunately, with the proliferation of porn and sex bots, men are able to find their masculinity in a fake, disturbing virtual world. The more men think they have to be like women to succeed in business. By the way, asshole, we make 30% less. So what? The more men will display their masculinity. They now have to hide only in the virtual world. They're hiding, Sonia.
They're not hiding it very well.
No, they're not. They will not know why they are taking refuge in the virtual world, but it will be because of their need to fulfill on their masculinity, which the world of social media no longer finds acceptable. This is a fucking crock, by the way. I'm not reading any more of this shit.
What? I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, this doesn't make any sense. I'm like,
yeah. So he's like, yeah. So let's end on a really sad note. Sorry.
You're good.
So a couple of years ago, it was announced that he has a form of muscular dystrophy. And it's fascioscapular humeral muscular dystrophy. He found this out when he was 32 years old, and he used to be really into swimming. That was one of his big activities. And scapular is it's between your shoulder blades. That's the part of your body. Okay. So he couldn't reach with that. Like it affected his stroke. And he denied that it was a problem for 30 years. He just pretended it wasn't there. And then in his 60s, he would train to try to like fight against it. And I think maybe that part of is like the thing that propels him. This is my armchair psychology thing. Like he's telling us, I'm not really sick. They tell me I've got that, but look at me. I'm fit. I'm always active.
Yeah, look how fit I am. I'm so healthy.
I'm so healthy. And let me tell y'all, when you get sick, you will be humbled one day. Just
get really sick or really injured.
Yep. So he now has issues with balance. He was in an airport in Asia, and he was reaching for. He was in a store. He was in the store where you get your water and candy and all that shit. And he was getting a shirt or something, and he was leaning against the rack, and the rack had those balls on the bottom, so they were moving. And I think he thought that they were steady,
stationary.
Right? Stationary. Thank you. So he was leaning on it, and it got away from him. And he just could not find his balance, and he fell on the floor. And it was a marble floor. Yeah. So he was embarrassed, but he also really hurt himself.
Yeah.
He's 67. You can't be falling like that.
No, I'm like 54, and I can't fall.
I can't fall like that. I had a bad fall. That was my big problem. You don't want to fall. So he said, I got up immediately. My ego was like in check. And then I went about 15 feet and did the same thing again. And then I realized that the muscle on my left foot wasn't coming up. It was not working anymore. So my left toe wasn't coming up anymore. And I brought up my foot. So he has this issue now. And he has decided that he announced he was committed to raising $100 million to create a cure for this by 2027. I don't know if they'll be able to do it.
Yeah.
But like I said, he gave money for the outdoors for Vancouver, for BC.
Yeah.
He
We
and
acknowledge when our creeps have done good things.
we always try to do that. We try to be balanced. So they have done things that are good. I mean, he has $7 billion. He likes Jordan Peterson, for fuck's sakes. I mean, what do I have to say about that?
We could do a whole episode on just people that like Jordan Peterson.
I know.
Gross.
And people ask us, and then I'm just like, he's just so gross. I can't even.
We're not ready yet. That's all.
We're not there yet, but we will get there.
Yeah. He's saying gross shit every day. Like,
so that's Sonia. That's our creep this week. It's Chip Wilson. I hope he finds a cure. I hope he gets.
Yeah, that would be great.
And I hope he continues to perhaps have a little more respect for his body and then the bodies of other people, because you never know what someone is fucking going through.
Yes.
I know people that are big that have cancer. You think they're all like withered away. No, they're not. I know all kinds of people, all kinds of situations. That's my point ultimately. You don't know what somebody's going through. So just because somebody happens to be a size 16 and needing some tights, it's not because they eat too much, or it's not,
Yeah.
Just fucking stop.
Yeah, it's not your business.
Not your business. Be more generous of other people.
Yeah.
And
That's
be
our other
kinder to
podcast
yourself.
called Mind Your Business.
Mind your fucking business.
Good job, my friend.
Okay. Thank you.
I did not know all of that stuff, so that was very informative. Thank you.
And I will say, by the way, I love Lululemon stuff. The shit's great. I will say that. Their shit's great.
I'm like, I don't know if I'm ready to invest yet, but good to know. Do you want to hear about someone who's not a creep?
Yes, please.
Okay. Do you own anything from Patagonia?
I'm sure yes. Oh, yeah, I do.
That company's great. It makes like outdoor gear. It makes jackets, coats, all the things for hiking if you're into that sort of thing.
We had a conversation about hiking.
Just about how like when people are like, want to go hiking? I'm like, never. I will go for a walk with you. But if you want to climb a mountain, you want to take someone else. I will fall down that mountain. Like, that is not for me. But the owner is someone named Yvon Chouinard, and he is the founder of Patagonia, and he is a climber. He actually trained himself to be a blacksmith. He's an environmentalist, and he started Patagonia. So I put him here as reluctant businessman. And he seems to be very the opposite of what you just talked about. Like, so he was born in 1938 in Maine, but he grew up in Southern California, got really into rock climbing in the 1950s, and it's very niche and you need special gear for it, but there wasn't always the right gear for it. So that's when he started teaching himself blacksmithing to like make climbing gear for himself. And then he turned that into a company called like Chouinard Equipment, and it was like the largest climbing gear company in the US. And then he changed the name to like something called Black Diamond, which he then sold. Then he started in 1973, he started Patagonia, and that was like to make apparel for climbing.
Mm-hmm.
So your jackets and your pants and whatever. And it kind of grew into this like full on like outdoor clothing company. And he had these values that he wanted the company to follow. So it was like simplicity, environmentalism, and like it was about function over flash. So it's not that the things don't look cute. Like some of them are very cute, but like it has to work. It has to keep you warm. It has to keep you dry, all of those things. And he really did not care for like company corporate culture. So like before .com was the thing, like his employees like went surfing at lunch. They brought their dogs to work, like all of these
things. Can I have that job?
I know. These were all things that really started to happen in the early 2000s and .com boom stuff. But like he was doing it at Patagonia in the 70s. And he has a very strong like environmental ethic. So like he believes that his business and that business should be a force for good. They are the first company to switch to entirely organic cotton. 1% of all the sales go to grassroots environmental organizations.
Nice.
Not 1% of the profits, like 1% of the sales. So whether they make a profit or not,
Wow.
which they make a profit,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. They make a lot of money.
and like they what are some of the other things here? I've got a whole he's basically he has kids, but he's not like he's 83 now. He's or No, sorry, he was 83 a couple years ago, so he's like 85 now. My apologies. But he is still alive, but he has donated, like his company is going into a trust called the Holdfast Collective. He says that the earth is now their only shareholder. Like all the money is going to an environmental cause.
Wow.
Like it is not going to like his children or whatever. It's going to this. So it's not some tax loophole or anything like that. The company is going to fund environmental causes forever, is what he's saying. Like
Wow.
he has his own book, and one of them was called "Let My People Go Surfing." Like he is just someone who like he doesn't like attention. He spends a lot of time in nature. Um And I thought, well, instead, this seems like the opposite of what we just talked about. Um, let's see, I already listed a lot of this stuff. They also have a goal at the company to be 100% carbon neutral by this year across their supply chain. So I don't know, they might be on track for that goal. Um, they are fair trade certified. They have supply chain transparency. So they are like, their factories are safe.
Do they have
pay
kids at those
people.
factories?
No, surprisingly, no. I also was curious, like, what it's like to work there, like, in their offices and things like that, and it says that and maybe I was looking at jobs. This is none of your business if I no, because I was like, this is, like, a company that's doing
Where
the
are they
right thing.
based? Are they in
Well, they
Portland?
have, uh there's one in in Portland, and then they have a couple. I know they have an office here in San Francisco
Okay.
too, and then they have, like, retail stores, like, all over, but they have health benefits for full-time and part-time, which
Oh,
isn't
wow.
necessarily a thing at lots of companies. They have retirement plans and bonuses and stuff like that, but they also have, like, family services. Some places have childcare.
Ugh.
They do, paid activism hours, and I love this, they made sure to call it out, covered travel for abortion and gender-affirming procedures.
Wow.
So many companies right now are pulling those things away as a way to, like, bend the knee to Trump or not get
Mhm.
attention from this administration, and they are they are like, "No, we're not doing that." So, um and yeah, they still like, they fund a lot of grassroots activists, they fund protests, they are very proud that they are trying to learn more about making sure that they're inclusive in their products, but also in their hiring and not just in their stores, but, like, in the corporate area as
Mhm.
well, and, yeah, that's our non-creep is Yvon Chouinard and Patagonia.
Great job, Sonia. It's an excellent
Thank
company,
you.
and their products are great. I have some
Yes.
rain gear of theirs that it's like, you won't feel a drop.
Nope, and I know I was looking at their, like, puffer coats because I was like, "Maybe I could use one of these, here in San Francisco," but I have friends that have those jackets, and they've had them, again, for
Oh,
years.
yeah. The quality is excellent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I might be investing in a little puffer coat for myself.
Nice.
Nice.
Well, that's our creep and non creep this week, everybody. And if you like the sound of our voices, we also co host a show called Dorking Out, where Sonia and I dork out about movies. What are we going to be dorking out about next, Sonia?
We are going to be talking about pop star Never Stop, Never Stopping,
Ah,
the mockumentary, if by Lonely Island. So it's Andy Samberg and those two other fellows whose names are not in front of me. I am sorry. But it's streaming right now on Netflix. So I watched it last night. It's hilarious. I think it's going to be a really fun conversation. So definitely join us over there.
Absolutely. And as I said before, we're always looking for suggestions for creeps and also for non-creeps. So please reach out to us. All those places I mentioned at the top of the show. Our email, once again, is whatacreeppodcast@gmail.com. And Sonia, where can they find you?
You can find me on my blog.
Talking about erections?
Where I'm always talking about erections at thesoniashow.com. And you can find me at The Sonia Show on Instagram and Blue Sky and Threads and the TikTok. Where can people find you, my friend?
You can find me at brooklynfitchick.com. I'm at brooklynfitchick for Threads and Instagram. I'm at Brooklyn Margot on Blue Sky and TikTok. And I am at my name, Margot Donahue, on YouTube. All right, everybody, that's the show this week. We'll be back next week with a new episode. In the meantime, watch your erections. Be kind. Be generous. Just don't be a creep.
A creep. Thank you for listening to us talk about creeps. You can follow us at What a Creep Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
But don't follow us too closely.
You can email us your creepy stories at whatacreeppodcast@gmail.com.
But please keep your dick pics to yourself.